Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Hey, good evening, sports fans. The first college football playoff rankings of the season dropping earlier this evening. These, of course, are the rankings that will ultimately determine which teams play in which bowl games and which teams will go on to play for the national championship. Let's take a look at your top 12 Big Ten powers. Ohio State and Indiana, they're your top two teams. Texas A&M checks in at third, and Alabama checks in at number 4. If the playoffs began today, these 4 teams would get a bye. Georgia is 5. Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, and Notre Dame round out your top 10. Texas checks in at number 11. Oklahoma is 12. Let's stay with college football now. The firing of Hugh Freeze, still a huge topic of conversation here in the Yellowhammer State. On yesterday, our very own Nick Kuzma catching up with Mike Giddens of the War Report. He said a lack of accountability may have been one of the biggest downfalls of the Hugh Freeze era.
I will take you back to Maryland. The bowl game against Maryland in the Music City Bowl. I asked a simple question, and it was, what happened out there today, coach, offensively, with your game plan? The offense looked terrible. And he said, I was busy recruiting, too busy recruiting to be involved with the offensive game planning until the week of. Wow, what an answer. Again, you had players that you have to coach now. So you got to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So, I have asked a lot, you're right, about, using that word accountability, who's accountable for what we're watching? And while at times he seemed to say the right things, I don't think that behind the scenes he practiced it in a way that it was like, yes, it's me that's accountable. There were lots of storylines about golf and how he was spending his time this season. And Nick, all that is relevant when you're losing this much. So you don't want us to talk about golf, then win football games. And I'll tell you, we had a former player that told us that so much time is wasted January to July with a coach that this player termed as lazy and unmotivated in the offseason. I had another director of football operations that described the offseason to me like this. He said, it's 1,000 hours of work in the offseason for 40 hours of football in the fall. And if you don't get those 1,000 hours right, you're not going to get the 40 right. And I don't think this offense was spending their 1,000 hours in the offseason right.